boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
Things just need to be left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view, like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing X, Y, Z.
You always wonder, well, people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough. That there might be an excuse for that. So.
StephenASmith commented on Canelo Alvarez's noticeably bigger physique ahead of the Terence Crawford fight, questioning how the size difference might impact the outcome. While he recognized Crawford as the more skilled boxer, Smith warned that if Crawford can't generate enough power to hurt Canelo, it could spell serious trouble. His remarks emphasized the concern over physical disparity and the possible influence it may have in this highly anticipated clash.
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off him. He says it's a legacy fight, and he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Unfortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's respected trainer, addressed long-standing allegations about performance-enhancing substances in his camp. Reynoso, who has faced accusations in the past, firmly denied them, stressing that his fighters, including Canelo, handle their own nutrition plans. He explained that he does not interfere with diet or supplements, focusing instead on strategy, skill development, and mental preparation. This clarification is particularly significant as speculation often grows when a fighter shows dramatic physical changes before a big fight.
Eddie Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join SNAP. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hydraulic chambers. Get Nello on SNAP. Hey, brother, Nello on SNAP with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt, brother, please.
Though Eddie Reynoso has coached several fighters, 7 by some accounts, who failed PED tests during their careers, he insists this does not implicate Canelo Alvarez. Reynoso emphasized that each case should be viewed individually and that fighters are ultimately responsible for what enters their bodies. In Canelo's case, he says the champion has always maintained a clean program and been extremely cautious about food and supplement intake.
Boxing corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled that proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah blah blah, and he distanced himself. Now why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC, maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence, put it that way. Again, that's not true, I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terence Crawford's strength coach delivered a bold prediction ahead of the showdown with Canelo Alvarez, declaring that Crawford would break the beast out of Canelo and that the camp is fully prepared. He highlighted Crawford's conditioning, power, and relentless work ethic, stressing their precise, strategic preparation targeting strength and stamina alike. His remarks have fueled debate about whether Crawford's power at a higher weight will truly be enough to trouble a seasoned champion like Canelo.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Some analysts believe the size of the ring could be a decisive factor. A standard-sized ring would allow Crawford to maximize his movement, speed, and tactical positioning to keep Canelo at bay. History shows Canelo has struggled against opponents who maintain distance and use lateral footwork, such as in his loss to Dimitri Bivol. If the ring dimensions favor mobility, Crawford's chances of dictating pace increase significantly. But if Canelo closes the gap quickly, the fight could become a far more physical battle.
If the ring is standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he going to get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, he talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dogfight with Canelo. No, I think he going to whoop his ass off. So
Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray praised the fight as a clash between two great legacies. He commended Canelo Alvarez for his sustained excellence across multiple weight divisions, while also giving full credit to Terence Crawford for his dominance in his own. Gray said this is not only a battle for titles, but also a battle for legacy, with both men seeking to secure their place in boxing history.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So, I don't know how that combination ends up, the weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
On follow-up, do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez expressed strong doubts about Crawford's chances, pointing to the size gap. Sanchez explained that weight divisions exist for a reason. While skill is vital, natural size and strength can't be overlooked. He argued that Canelo's power at his natural class will pose a serious obstacle for Crawford, who is moving up to face him. Even with Crawford's elite talent, Sanchez believes overcoming such disadvantages will be very difficult.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division and had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. And you talk about a guy in Canelo whose really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo has dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions, you know.
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night, my friend?
I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3.
Legendary ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. shared his perspective, noting that in fights like this, the naturally bigger man usually wins, giving Canelo the edge. However, he added that Canelo hasn't looked as dominant in some recent outings, which could leave an opening for Crawford. His balanced take suggests that while size matters, form and strategy could still decide the outcome.
For the super fight in September, how do you see that fight playing out? Who are you leaning towards? Who wins that fight?
Yeah, I tell you, I tend to always think the naturally bigger fighter is going to have an advantage. I'm just, with the Crawford moving up, he was a 135-pound champion. They had 40, fantastic champion. 47 then, and then 54. Is 68 too much? That's really a big jump. But I tell you, a lot of people I respect just say, no, he's going to be favored on that.
Wow.
So I don't know what to say, but Canelo's a great fighter and a smart fighter, and two fighters in the pound for pound best. Getting it on. That's nice for boxing.
And if Crawford is successful, where would you place him in the all-time greats? Does he belong in the top 10, or you've seen so many fighters come across?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. But certainly he should be considered. He should be in that discussion, and people could argue that either way for a while. But if he does it, you always wonder. Will people say that no, Canelo was going down and he hadn't had enough? That there might be an excuse for that. So, we'll see. But it'd be quite a feat if he does beat Canelo. That'd be amazing.
Shakur Stevenson, an undefeated champion, voiced full confidence in Terence Crawford's ability. Calling him the best in his division, Stevenson argued that Crawford's skills are enough to overcome even a bigger opponent like Canelo Alvarez. His words carry weight, given his own reputation and credibility. Stevenson's remarks reflect the respect Crawford commands among elite fighters and reinforce the belief that size alone won't determine the fight.
You first heard about this idea when you first came. You first heard about it. What did you think of this idea of Bud going up to 68 to fight Canelo?
I ain't gonna lie, I've been putting it out since, I want to say, when he fought Sean Porter. Like back then, if you go watch, it's an interview out there. I had said I think that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez right after he fought Sean Porter. So the idea, I've been thinking about it. I've been saying it before Bud even was saying it.
Why were you saying it then? Like that was what, a few years ago? It was 160 or 168 at that point. But why did you believe then that was the right fight?
Because I just knew, like, as far as in that weight class, Terence Crawford is like the greatest. So I just feel as though with Canelo's style and like the style of boxing that he got, I think and this is before Bivol did it, but I thought like Terence Crawford was the only guy who I felt as though could have beat Canelo with his style.
So tell me if you think I'm wrong here. Like, I might have been more confident after the Spence fight when he threw a lot of right hands in that fight, was aggressive. Against Madrimov, he didn't throw a lot of right hands in that fight. And I've been saying for years that the only way to beat Canelo Alvarez is throw right hands. Gennady Golovkin did it, almost beat him, should have beat him the first time around. Dmitry Bivol did it in their fight. Other guys tend to try to jab him to death. I don't think you can win fights.
I was about to say, I disagree with you.
That's not surprising at all.
Former world champion Sean Porter offered detailed insight into Crawford's physical transformation. After seeing him in person, Porter noted Crawford's legs looked especially thick, powerful, and well-balanced, evidence of focused lower body training. He emphasized that the added mass was evenly distributed, without slowing his movement or agility. In Porter's view, retaining quickness while adding strength could be decisive against Canelo, especially if Crawford uses mobility to offset the Mexican star's size and power.
You guys, one reason you give Crawford a good chance at winning this fight is talking about Canelo has to have his feet set to deliver his power shots. Crawford making him pick his feet up. At 38 years old, putting on 14 pounds to go from 54 to 68, 38 years old, do you think his legs will be able to to have the advantage, that people that are picking him and thinking he could win this fight, will they have the advantage that they believe he will have at 38, putting on 14 pounds to those legs?
I looked at my business partner Malcolm while we were there. I said, "Yo, look at his legs." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." I said, "They're thick. They're in shape. They look very strong." If anybody out there that want to act funny about what I just said, that's my job as a former athlete, as an analyst. I have to analyze everything, right? So I have to analyze, how's his weight now distributed across your body?
His body, right?
Is it distributed a little too much right here in the midsection? Are the legs too thick? And now I'm not seeing the muscle pop and things of that nature. The dude is doing all of the right things. They have something called the incline in Colorado Springs. So just in case you don't know, Colorado Springs is about 6,000, a little bit more than 6,000 feet in the air, right? So it's above the altitude. I don't know where Vegas is. Vegas is around 1,000, I believe.
A growing narrative among boxing fans suggests Crawford will dominate Canelo, with some dismissing it as anything but a 50-50 fight. This has sparked claims of disrespect toward Canelo's legacy. Supporters remind that Canelo remains the top Mexican fighter of his era, a multi-division champion who has faced the sport's best. While Crawford is a generational talent, dismissing Canelo outright overlooks his proven record against elite opponents. This fight is therefore not just about titles, but about respect and legacy.
So look, I'm going to get my prediction. I don't want this video to be long. Typically my videos be like 20-25 minutes long. I get deep on this shit. I'm going to keep it real. I think y'all are out of your fucking mind. Y'all are out of your fucking mind. Look, if you want to say, I think Bud Crawford has the opportunity to win this fight, don't count him out. I don't disagree with that at all. I would say, never count Bud out. I would say that. Never count Bud out. If y'all say this is a 50-50 fight, I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah. You think it's a 50-50 fight? Y'all, people are saying it's not even going to be a 50-50 fight. That Canelo is going to be slow. And I think y'all are out of your fucking mind. Canelo needs to walk out to Roy Jones. You must have forgotten. Y'all, this is arguably not only the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, but this is arguably one of the greatest fighters ever. And y'all are acting like Canelo is some kind of fucking pushover. Like he's some kind of stepping stone. I've never seen nothing like it. I have never seen a boxer so accomplished get shitted on in every fucking prediction video I'm seeing. It's madness. My prediction right now, Canelo wins this fight. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all got shit fucked up. Bro, Canelo wins this fight.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more. Until next time.